Before I, start, I will tell everyone that there will be a time skip. If you guys don't want to see that gruesome play, but anyway, um, Cowboys fans, everyone makes fun of you, being America's team, not winning championships since the '90s, all that. Sorry, I got a stuck nose, but this is something that we are not happy to see. Dak Prescott broken ankle. It's the play is horrible to watch. Like, it's completely horrible and disgusting to see, and just terrible to watch. Because when you see it, it makes you feel a way that is like, will his ankle be able to walk again, right? And it's weird because the day that Dak Prescott gets injured, not only is the same season where Dalton gets signed as the backup, which is oddly convenient since the Cowboys didn't really have a backup, but also this is the same day that Alex Smith, a man who not only got injured on the same leg, but nearly had to amputate that leg and nearly died, came back to the NFL and played his first game back in over 2 years since the gruesome injury. And we were talking about, the whole world was talking about Dak Prescott's contract situation, right? The problem wasn't about the money, it was about how many years, right? Rumors were saying that Dak wanted a 4, while the Cowboys wanted a 5-year contract. And that might have been the worst decision Dak had ever made, not taking that contract, because, well, it could be one of the worst decisions he ever made, because we don't know how well Dak is going to be after the injury, because the way it's looking, Dalton's going to play for the rest of the season, and don't be surprised if Dalton does play. I'll be more surprised if Dak returns for the season. But it's just simply, what will happen if Dak resigns? What happens if Dak doesn't resign? Because there's only been one QB in NFL history to resign after a franchise tag, and that was Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was the only other QB to sign a franchise tag. And the thing was, it wasn't even a big contract. They were signing him to 1 year. That's it. Kirk Cousins played a franchise tag, and they got franchise tagged. And then, he decided to go to Minnesota. But even the fact that Dak's playing on the franchise tag is damning, because the only QBs who have done that were Kirk Cousins, Drew Brees. That's it. No other QB has played on the franchise tag. QBs have been franchise tagged, but they wouldn't play. Dak should have done what Le'Veon Bell did. Get his money and sit out. But Dak didn't do that. Dak thought he had to prove himself, which is kind of stupid, because Dak has already proven that he deserves a lot of money. But does he deserve more than Russell Wilson? Probably not. But it's interesting, because if Dak's injury is bad, and the Cowboys don't resign him, Dak will be a lot like Cam Newton, where teams are going to be anxious into signing him because they don't know how his leg is going to be, which will degrade his value. But at the same time, people saw how Cam Newton turned out, so people will be thinking that maybe Dak Prescott is going to be a lot like Newton. Difference is, it was his ankle rather than his shoulder. Dak, of course, his ankle, Newton with his shoulder. And we see how Newton is being the best passer he's ever been in his entire career, including college. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this all goes down. And if the Cowboys re-sign Dak, then how much are they going to pay them? Because we don't know how much Dak is actually going to play well. He might play worse, which will make that contract very bad. Or he'll play better in the contract and Dak will want to have for money, which could also happen. So it's either going to be you pay him less, but he turns out better, or you pay too much and it turns out that the injury, well, frankly, made him worse. Now, could Dak get paid the same amount of money and play great? Yeah, of course. 100%. I'm not saying that Dak, out of the injury, won't be as good as he was. But most injuries devalue and degrade a QB. RG3 is a perfect example of that. Cam Newton is a perfect example of it not going down the RG3 route. But here's the thing though. You don't have to worry for it right now, right? All you gotta worry about is the injury. You don't have to worry about the contract situation. Because it's not like you guys don't have a backup QB. You guys have arguably the best backup QB in Andy Dalton. And he has shown us not only that he was a franchise QB with the Cincinnati Bengals, but he was also a starter. He was a starter and a franchise. Especially those two passes to Michael Gallup near the end of the game. Those showed us, hey, maybe Dalton, maybe he is a starter. Maybe that's why he stayed at Cincinnati so much, because he was a franchise guy. And I know the whole thing is Dalton can make it past the first round. But maybe it's because it was the team around him. Maybe it was because the head coaching of the Bengals was complete garbage. Because, they'll do good in the regular season for coaching, and then when the playoffs hit, the coaching was terrible. The closest time, they were going to make it past the first round. The whole Antonio CTE situation happened. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Will Dak turn out to be good after his injury? We don't know. Could Dak actually be the backup to Dalton? Could Dalton be the start for Cowboys? That could be a possibility for the future. Dalton could be the Alex Smith to a possible new rookie for the Cowboys if they decide not to sign Dak. My honest thought is, you re-sign Dak. You re-sign Dak. Why? Simple. You re-sign Dak to a cheap contract. Like a Cam Newton contract. And you tell him, you are injured, prove us you are the same. And depending how Dak does, you re-sign him to a huge contract, or you don't. It's just one of those days. It's just simple. Or they won't re-sign him and stick with Dalton and then draft a new guy so then Dalton can be the Alex Smith, as I stated before. To the rookies, Patrick Mahomes. And if the rookies anything like Mahomes, then ladies and gentlemen, you guys picked the right decision. But my honest opinion is, re-sign Dak to a 1 year, maybe a 1 year, $5 million contract, right? Make it so it's more than, a rookie would. Like a rookie contract. But don't do it so much where it's like, okay, I made so much money, I'm gonna sit out, right? Make it so it's a 1 year contract, but also make it seem like this team doesn't believe in me. I'm gonna prove this team and the whole world I still got fuel in the fucking tank. Sorry for me swearing, but let me guys know in the comments down below. Should the Cowboys resign Dak? Should the Cowboys stick with Dalton? Will Dak be okay after his surgery in the hospital? Time will tell, but prayers for Dak, because man, this hurts if you're a Cowboys fan. This really hurts. And it hurts watching it if you're a Cowboy or not Cowboys fan. So, I'm Patron Wild, and comment in the comments down below. Pray for Dak recovery. I'll see you guys tomorrow or today when we cover something less sad than this situation.